Hey, hey, it's a rookie showcase here on PHNX Cardinals. I'm Johnny Venerable. Damon and Bo Brock joining the show today. It's a Football Friday. Tune in. Show starts now. Hey, hey, welcome in live from Studio A. Sorry, Damon. Presented by all of our friends here of PHNX Cardinals. I'm Johnny Venerable. Damon Dog joining the show. I get a reprieve. I missed Damon's final show. We're back today. We're going to be joined by our other co-host here, Bo Brock, joining us as we chatted up with two rookies from the Arizona Cardinals. I would say bountiful rookie class. Denzel, Burke, Kitan Crawford, Gonna be joining the show later on. Noah behind the mic today. How we living, my guy?
You know, I was doing okay. Arizona baseball lost today, Johnny, but then you blew out one of my eardrums, specifically this one on the right side here, and now I'm gonna have to be working through a little wounded throughout this podcast.
You're not going on injured reserve yet, but I do feel like had I not done that, people would have blown me grief for it.
Hurt, not injured.
I appreciate that, and I was willing to sacrifice your eardrum in the process. Everybody smash that like button. Loaded Friday show here on PHNX Cardinals. Great to see everybody. Rudy, Robert, Benjamin, Shaft in the chat, our guy. Everybody living it up. Hopefully having a safe, happy, healthy weekend here as we enter the dark times, the dead period, if you will, as the Arizona Cardinals concluded minicamp earlier this week, mandatory style. They come back for training camp mid to late July. So much to talk about here. Get your super chats and your likes in. Again, Kitan Crawford, Denzel, Burke later in the show. Can't wait to break it all down. But first, we're going to do a little temperature check.
Let's do it.
What's your temperature on the temperature check, by the way?
My temperature on the temperature check, you know, Noah and I were discussing off air the graphic. I think it's good. I think we're solid.
Yes.
And I'm feeling pretty good about it because I know that Noah put in a shift here with the graphic better than anything your boy was going to do.
Wow.
So
you guys,
you know, I'm feeling the love in this room right now. I know that me and Noah were kind of making each other enemies out of each other on the last show that I did with you on Wednesday, but I don't know. Something about the love in this room right now, Johnny. I can't get away from that.
You know, I think it's the animosity that one Bo Brock puts on this group. He loves to stir the pot. When one of us isn't on, he loves to be the instigator. And then when our three collective minds get together, we can see that he very much is the bad man. So Bo Brock will be back on Monday. He's going to join us for these interviews, by the way. Can't wait to see my guy Bo. Can't wait to see everybody in the chat. Drop a like. Again, the goal, 300+ likes here on a Football Friday. Love it. And I thought now would be a good time here post-minicamp. And we've had a banner week. We've heard from Calais Campbell, Josh Sweat, Kyler Murray, JG every day. The temperature check. Who was under the most pressure to perform? We put together a list, a hierarchy, if you will, of, let's just call them notables for the Arizona Cardinals ahead of training camp, ahead of this year, who needs to perform and who maybe can do with a subpar to below average season. We're not rooting for that, certainly, but who could survive something like that? So without further ado, let's start with this temperature check. Let's start with the general manager. It's Monti Ossenfort on a PHNX Cardinals Football Friday. Monti Ossenfort, temperature check. I'm going with medium, Damon Dog. Again, 3 off seasons. This is his team. This is the team that he built outside of an egregious kind of Steve Keim-esque off-the-field concern instance or completely imploding en route to maybe the first overall pick. Even then, I think it would be very difficult for Monti Ossenfort to feel the heat this season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think medium might even be a little bit too high based off of what we've seen here. I think that this organization just feels so in lockstep, right? And that starts at the top with Monti Ossenfort, trickles down to Jonathan Gannon and all the players. You know, we'll get into JG's temperature check later, but I think that I would have to have them in unison together. And, and so I would probably drop that to the low area, to be honest. But, you know, I could see the idea that they have to put a winning product on the field this year. They have to have a winning record after an 8-9 season last year. You only get better and fix your biggest needs, right? So I think that, you know, the pressure comes in the point that you have to be 9-8 at the minimum, or else it's a disaster. And then I think the heat gets turned up a lot on Monti Ossenfort. But if the Cardinals can have a winning season this year, I think that the pressure is fairly low.
Well, let me play devil's advocate for a second. I think Monti Ossenfort is not under any pressure this year in terms of like losing his job. But if you look back on the 2 years with him on the job, right? The best players on this team, Trey McBride, James Conner, Budda Baker, they weren't drafted and developed by Monti Ossenfort. Now, you could say, well, he's only had 2 draft classes leading into this offseason. You'd be right. But I think now it's like, okay, who in that 2023 class is making an all-pro team, is making a Pro Bowl, right, is getting an extension? Same thing with the 2024 class. Like, who is taking that next jump? Who's having that pop year? If we get to the end of this year and it's like, well, the Cardinals were middling this year and the collective 3 rookie classes from the last 3 years, the 3 draft classes haven't produced, you've got some concerns there. Like, again, medium concerns. Paris Johnson, Garrett Williams on the cusp of superstardom. Got guys like Michael Wilson that we're super high on. And then really it's going to come down to, and I'm not giving this draft class a pass, Damon, but it's going to come down to Marv, Darius, these guys from last year making that next jump. And again, like, we'll put pressure on the players, but at the end of the time, it comes down to, at the end of the day, it comes down to, well, who's picking the players? So I think that Monti Ossenfort as a GM, when he's picking the players, I think his strategy has a very high floor. Now we need to see some of these guys burst through that ceiling.
Yeah, no, I can totally understand that line of thinking, and just the need for, you know, obviously a good season next season. Shaft says here in the comments that it's a guarantee that we finish with a record, dog. I mean, I certainly agree that the Cardinals will finish with a winning record, but I don't think that we should be guaranteeing anything like that, especially with, you know, health problems regarding the quarterback in the past.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that that's something that I would be willing to say, but I do believe that that's what will happen, and that's why I think that Monty deserved to be in the low. But I understand, you know, that draft class with Marvin and Darius Robinson, kind of, you know, somewhat of a, you know, we always talk about it, disappointing, based off of what the national media maybe expected out of Marv. Year 1 for Marv. Darius obviously had a disappointing year for, in large part, not fault of his own. And then, you know, you pick guys like Elijah Jones and Tip Ryman in the 3rd round, and they don't contribute all of that much to the team, right? Even if Tip Ryman played a good amount of snaps. So I think that draft class, that Marvin Darius draft class, needs to show out next year and prove that Monti Ossenfort is the right man in terms of making the picks for the Cardinals.
And I love the picks at the time, especially the first 2, Marvin and Darius.
Yeah.
Again, like, I'm not going to put pressure on saying like the picks were incorrect, you should have gone this way or this way. But over time, like, they have to age well, and that has to start this year. So I put medium pressure on Monti Ossenfort. You mentioned Jonathan Gannon. What about JG? How much pressure is JG feeling in 2025? Let's see it. No, man, I'm going low. I think Jonathan Gannon, and I don't have the source, just the sense that I get with people I talk to, I think he's the 2nd most powerful person in the Cardinals franchise behind Michael Bidwell. And again, he works in lockstep with Monti Ossenfort. This was a hire that the Cardinals were fortunate to get at the time with where the franchise was. He's a beloved head coach. He got an A to A+ via the NFLPA grades from his own players. Again, they're so prepared, professional, buttoned up. The defense is overachieved. Again, like, there's nothing that could happen this year, in my opinion, where Jonathan Gannon is even remotely on the hot seat. I think it's much more likely we're going to see him and Monti Ossenfort get lofty extensions this next January, February. Gannon should be a top 10 highest paid coach in the NFL after this year. To me, this is the best coach you've had since Bruce Arians, and it's the best young coach you've had since Ken Wisenhunt. I think he's got the same kind of ceiling where we're going to be talking about hopefully making the playoffs, winning playoff games, competing for the NFC West. So this is probably the easiest layup of anybody we do today. Jonathan Gannon, low temperature check today.
I'm in lockstep with you, my guy. Jonathan Gannon is absolutely on a low temperature check in terms of the microscope that's on him. You mentioned the defenses and the overachieving, right? Like, this is a defense that was probably the least talented defense maybe in the NFL last season, finished 11th in scoring defense, which is way more important than total defense.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Points per game is all that matters.
100%. And they did so, with the Cardinals offense not always being that great.
Yeah.
And so I think that you have to give a ton of credit to Jonathan Gannon, also Nick Rallis, and just kind of the direction of this defense. You mentioned the player grade and the NFLPA grades. Like, he clearly is a guy that his players rally around him and they love him and they want to play for him. And there's no reason why Jonathan Gannon would have any sort of, I think, like, real life pressure on him that would be like affect his job status or his standing in the Cardinals fan base. I think JG is pretty safe right now.
My guy Felix in the chat, only A on the NFLPA report card. Yeah, I mean, that
telling.
Very telling. Again, lock him up, get him here long term. He and Monti Ossenfort, I think both will be extended, barring something unforeseen after this year. Keeping things going, let's turn our attention to the Cardinals' marquee free agent this offseason. Heard from him earlier in the week on the program. That's Josh Sweat. Temperature check for Sweaty J. I'm going medium on this one, Damon Dog. You get a big-time contract, right? You leave Philadelphia for the first time in your pro career. Everybody knows, like, what Josh Sweat is and isn't, right? This isn't Chandler Jones coming over in a trade. This isn't a guy that we think can approach, the league leaders in sacks. But at the same time, you can't be a bust of a free agent. You can't be a non-factor. The Cardinals, unlike defensive tackle, they don't have a Darius. They don't have a Walter Nolan behind Calais and Dalvin Tomlinson at edge rusher. So if Josh Sweat can't consistently get you pressures in the form of 8 to 12 sacks this year, that's going to be a huge missed opportunity for the Cardinals, and it could cost them long term. So I think he can get there. I think reuniting with Gannon, following his best year to date, a couple of years ago, 11 sacks in the making with JG en route to a Super Bowl appearance, that bodes well. But again, there were concerns about longevity of his knee. He hasn't missed more than a game per season dating back to his rookie year. But again, there's always going to be pressure that comes with Damon Dog signing a contract of that magnitude, especially and we can call a spade, like, you're paying great money for a good player.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, free agency, that's the name of the game, is overpaying players.
Yeah.
That's why they make it to free agency. Most players that make it there that are, considered that upper echelon of NFL free agents in their class are going to be, quote unquote, overpaid, I should say.
Yep.
That you mentioned that 8 to 12 sack threshold number. He's only reached that twice in his career. Granted, he got 7.5 another year, but
yep.
I think that somewhat is a little bit lofty. I mean, I don't know if lofty is the right word. He played with great defensive linemen, but that also means that he wasn't on the field all the time. Like maybe he will be for the Arizona Cardinals. I think that he's a very safe player. I know that Josh Sweat is going to help this defense and improve the floor of this team greatly. But yeah, how high is that ceiling? We saw it in the Super Bowl. It kind of won the Eagles the game.
Yeah.
And so if you can just kind of channel that, Josh Sweat, I think, should be, phenomenal for this team. But especially if he can do it in big moments like he did in the Super Bowl for the Eagles. But ultimately, yes, I think that, he does have a little bit of pressure on him just because he's expected to produce given the contract that he got, and he's going to play a lot. And I think you do need like 8 sacks from the guy.
Minimum. And again, like we can't be sitting here in Halloween, November, Thanksgiving territory, and it's like, where's the Cardinals pass rush off the edge? That has to come from Sweaty J, and then hopefully everybody else will follow. This next one might be a little controversial, but hear me out here as we're going into the next tier of Cardinal players. Let's talk a little MHJ. Mr. Hold the Line himself on board with me. Temperature check for Marv this year. I'm going high. Not from any reason other than external perspective with Marvin Harrison Jr. You've got people slandering this young man's name, which I despise. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a monster year, and I think I would be content with 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. That's not going to be good enough for a lot of people. When he's compared to Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors and Joe Alt, right? Like, the expectation is you're a generational player, top 5. I'm telling you right now, like, people are going to want gaudy numbers. And I think he can still do that, by the way. I still think there's a Marvin Harrison Jr. in there that eventually could lead the NFL in receiving touchdowns, receiving yards. I predicted that he would lead the NFL in receiving touchdowns a couple of weeks ago. But the pressure that comes with Hall of Famer son, generational prospect, people are nitpicking your rookie year. The Cardinals don't add any receivers this offseason. So if Marv doesn't perform as the X receiver, what does it come down to? I don't think you can win the NFC West with just Trey McBride and just Michael Wilson. So again, not a temperature check high for like he's a bust or he's going to be off the team, but for where the Cardinals want to go and the labels that we associated with MHJ, I think it is a high temperature check.
I understand where you're coming from. I very much do. And I agree that if we're going based off of the narratives that will prevail around Marvin Harrison Jr., if he does not have like a breakout year two sophomore campaign, I think will be loud and people will be like, he's not the player that everyone thought he was going to be, which I think would be unfair. But I also think that the Cardinals and this fan base care so little about that at the end of the day that I would almost drop it to medium personally, just because I think that, yes, there is pressure and he does need to have a better season than he did his rookie year and look more in lockstep with Kyler Murray in particular, like have better chemistry with Kyler Murray. I just think that like Jonathan Gannon, Monti Ossenfort, everybody in this chat, me, you, Bo, Noah, like we don't care about Marvin Harrison Jr., what the national media is saying regarding Marvin Harrison Jr. We know that guy's a player, that he loves football, that he's going to continue to get better and better. And so I think that there is a little bit of pressure, but I would drop it down, I think, a threshold.
I think that's fair. Alberto in the chat, imagine having 8 TDs and still being considered somewhat disappointing. It's crazy. It's crazy the instant gratification that we look for is we live in a fantasy football community and you see like kind of a glimpse. It's really unfortunate what these players endure. Like they play a game, they put their bodies on the line, they check their phones, and people are going crazy, adding them on social media because they didn't produce for their fantasy football team.
Or for a bet or something.
It's just, you got a special place in hell for those kind of people that do that, which is really unfortunate. But I'm with you. Like I expect huge things from Marvin. I expect huge things from everybody on this list. Let's keep it going. Let's turn our attention to the franchise quarterback. And again, I think there's infinite pressure every year. And for somebody that's making the kind of money that K1's making, when you're drafted first overall, when you're in a season with lofty expectations, Kyler Murray told us the pressure's on this year. So I think it would only be appropriate to say, let's go high with K1. But again, this is an indictment of, I don't think Marv and K1 are going to, disappoint. No chance. I think all of these individuals are set up for huge success this year, Damon Dog, Kyler Murray included. And I think it would be disrespectful to K1 and everybody in this chat just to say, like, yeah, there are low expectations this year. No, for a team that wants to win the NFC West for the first time in 10 years, that has an opportunity to have a winning record for the first time since 2021, like, we're not going to sit here and say, yeah, pressure's low. I think that would be a spit in the fan base's face.
I think Kyler Murray and his dad and whatnot told us when we interviewed them that the pressure is on for this year. And I think that the expectation is, yes, we have to be in the postseason playing playoff football in Arizona. Maybe, it doesn't have to be in Arizona, but you have to make the playoffs, I think, this year if you're Kyler Murray, or else I think there will be some uncomfortable conversations in rightfully so, honestly, because that would be that's one playoff appearance in Kyler Murray's career. What would that be? 7 years?
This is year 7.
7 years, one playoff appearance. Like that, you need to ask some questions at that point. And it clearly hasn't all been on him. We all know that. It's a team sport. It's the ultimate team sport. But I think that Kyler Murray needs to make the playoffs this year, or else the microscope's going to be very zoomed in on him. And I think that he'll be blamed for a lot of this team's failures because I don't see Monty and JG going anywhere. And I think that, we've talked about this before, like ultimately if things go awry this season, that I think that's, you're going to look at Drew Petzing, Kyler Murray as probably the two people in particular that are the ones that you're like, what happened here and how can we get better on this side of things? So I think it's natural for that temp to be high.
It's hard to sit here and say like they need to do X, Y, and Z. A lot of it's optics, right? Like they could win 9 games and the whole team could be injured and they could look like a team that's overachieving, and then you'd commend everybody, or they could win 9 games and fall apart in the second half again. Like,
and that would be very, very concerning.
Right. You can't have another second half collapse, no matter the unit, no matter the player. And so I'm with you. I think Kyler Murray understand, like when Geno Smith is getting moved after winning 10 games, consecutive years, when Sam Darnold can't stick around, like. These are Kyler Murray's peers right now, for better or worse. So nothing's guaranteed in this league. So I think as a quarterback, unless you've got a Mahomes or an Allen associated with your name, like there's pressure every year to perform. I think the individual facing the most pressure potentially is a individual you just named, offensive coordinator Drew Petzing, as we round out the temperature check here. The hottest of the hot, high temperature check. And again, he was retained by this franchise. He's beloved by head coach Jonathan Gannon. He's respected by the players. I think he's done a nice job. But I also feel like, and this is what I keep coming back to, Damon, is I feel like Drew does more with less. But now when there's expectations and you litter this offense, 4th overall pick, all-pro tight end, stud left tackle, multiple backs, solid number 2 in Michael Wilson, Kyler Murray, who should be a top 12 quarterback every Sunday. Those are expectations of your offense better be damn good. It better be 8-12 in the NFL. You can't have Spurs where you're not scoring enough touchdowns. You're not putting together big explosives. The Cardinals last year, whether you like them or hate them, like they were one of the worst teams in the NFL stretching the field vertically. They were atrocious, 40-plus yards in the passing game. I know you can run the ball, but it's a passing league at the end of the day. And when your defense doesn't have it and the Cardinals can't play grounded out ball control and you have to rally from behind, like we only really saw them do that one time last year. It was against Miami Dolphins. We were there in the stands and we thought, well, this is a sign of things to come. Unfortunately, the Seattle, the Vikings game, the LA Rams game would say differently. So we think that pretty certainly like the Cardinals defense is going to have a special season. The offense has to be able to hold up their end of the bargain. And if you're Ossenfort and Gannon, it's like, we're running this back. Drew, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, I almost like Drew almost belongs in his own category.
For sure.
Because as we've talked about, the investment that you put into a Kyler Murray or a Marvin Harrison Jr., for example, like, because that's what Drew's truly going to be judged on,
right,
is how those two players in particular look. If they were investments, huge draft capital investments, huge financial investments like that. It's way easier to switch your offensive coordinator than it is your quarterback who's making 50+ mil and your, number 4 overall pick wide receiver. So that's where I think the pressure is high. I do want to say that I think that, let me talk you into Drew Petzing here next year for a little bit.
Okay.
So, last season, I think a lot of and you mentioned it, a lot of the issues with Drew Petzing are the vertical passing game ability and stretching the ball downfield, being dynamic, right? Yep. I think that's the biggest thing is the offense was not the most dynamic of offenses. They weren't making a ton of huge explosive plays and whatnot. I think that the style that this team will be playing next season with the new defense in place is it's going to be way more conducive to running the football.
Yep.
Taking care of the football, which the Cardinals did a great job at. Running out the clock, being physical and out-physicaling a defense. I think that all of that stuff coincides with having an elite defense really well, and that's how you play winning football. So I could see a world where Drew Petzing not having to come back in games, but rather sustaining leads that the defense has given him already. That could be a situation where Drew Petzing's proven to be a really, really strong opening drive offensive coordinator.
Excellent on script.
So get the lead, run the clock, and let your defense do the work. And I think that could fit really well. I do think Drew Petzing has a ton of pressure on him, but I also think that we could be seeing a better Drew Petzing this season than we saw in the past.
Drew's excellent on script. Brian in the chat, I think, says it well. Gannon's not going to be afraid to send out the defense. Drew's going to get the green light to open it up. You can't convince me that the Cardinals didn't have a plan, a structure in place. Kyler Murray, check it down, punt the football, play field position. And I get what you're saying, but I think against the high-end teams that the Cardinals couldn't beat last year, the Washingtons, the Buffaloes, the Packers, right? They got swept by Seattle, who had 10 wins. Those teams, we have to see big explosives return because you're not going to be able to have every game hold the opposing offense under 20 points. Like maybe this year, maybe this defense is going to be able to lead the NFL in takeaways, but there's going to be Sundays in which this offense is going to have to come out and score 30 points. It just didn't happen enough last year. So I do think he's under the most pressure, in part because, and this is going to sound cruel, he's the most expendable. He's not
100%.
A franchise quarterback making big time money. You're not getting rid of Marv. You're not getting rid of Trey McBride. Like these are cornerstone players. I just keep coming back to Damon, like how many NFL offensive coordinators would sign up for K1, Trey McBride, Marv as their big 3, and then you add in James Conner and Paris.
A good O-line.
Michael Wilson. Yeah, this cupboard is there for you to have a special season offensively, and it's coincidentally the same group you had last year. So
I want to say, though, that the one other thing that Drew Petzing is very, very good at is offensive line protection
Yeah,
as well.
he does a tremendous job.
This O-line is been, even with kind of a lack of talent, I don't want to say last year necessarily, but the year before, when Kelvin Beachum has had to step in, when Evan Brown has been playing for a ton of snaps, like they all don't miss a beat. They all look like they fit and belong in the league. And I think that's hard to find in the NFL. Like, how debilitating a bad offensive line is to your offense. And the Cardinals haven't experienced that with Petzing.
I think Drew would work exceptionally well for, and I've said this before, a team like the Jets, when you are just trying to be stable and not embarrassment, like the Cardinals in 2023 and parts of last year. The Jets game last year, the Bears game last year, it was like, man, this team, they've got the moxie. They can run it on anybody. They protect their quarterback. That was a level that they hit, and they exceeded expectations. Now they have to take it up a notch.
Yeah.
Now it's like, Drew, can you outduel a Shanahan or a McVay or a Kevin O'Connell or somebody like that? You have to be able to have that next level because, again, the offensive pieces are too good. That was our temperature check here. Anybody that I'm missing, anybody that you would have added, anybody that you want to highlight off the cuff?
I mean, like, they're not as important pieces on the team, but, like, what about, like, a Zaven Collins? Not that he is, like, has, like, a huge role to play, but, like, don't you think you kind of have to see something from Zaven this year? I know he has a lot of better pieces around him now, and, like, this is a year where you'd like to see, I think maybe not even a jump necessarily, but just be a very good, productive player for this team. First-round pick, like, that's always going to lead to some pressure.
I think all the first rounders, Marv, Darius, Paris, Walter Nolan, those guys have, the added pressure of where they were selected. I like this from Shaft in the chat. Remember, we were 3-5 in one-score games. We lost to Buffalo, Detroit, Minnesota, Carolina, and LA. Good teams find a way to close games and win close games. Now we're a good team, so we have to find a way to win those games this year. Absolutely. The Cardinals really only had 2 games last year where they were non-competitive, Washington and Green Bay. Most of their losses were one-score games. And so we'll see what happens. 8 of their 9 losses were to winning teams last year with winning records. Smash a like. We're a winning team here on a Football Friday because of all of you. Coming up around the corner, Ohio State rookie corner, Denzel Burke is going to join the show. That's coming up and more here on PHNX Cardinals. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Branded Bills. So fortunate I get to rep Branded Bills every single day. Premier headwear at not a premium price. Start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need, whether it's snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, tees, and more. They have you covered with performance and style. They've got partnerships with our guys at ASU, U of A. Check them out. Their campus collection is choice. Some of the best hatwear they make is the campus collection. You can also check out the slew of options we have at GoPHNX.com and our merchandise locker. They're a partner of the Phoenix Suns. When you try on a Branded Bills piece of equipment, a headwear, if you will never go back. You will never stray. It's a locally owned and operated company here in Mesa, Arizona. We're going to hook you up right now. The promo code, brandedbills.com, to save 15% off your order. BB PHNX. That's BB PHNX right now. 15% off your order. Branded Bills headwear. Get it today.
Johnny, we started a new segment here at PHNX Sports on every show called Frosty Takes. Ooh. And yesterday, you gave probably the greatest Frosty Takes I think I've seen since its inception.
I appreciate
here in the 2
that.
weeks we've done this. If you didn't see it, go check it out. Yesterday's PHNX Cardinals podcast. But in relation to it, like sometimes you just need to cool down, right? And that's when you have a hot take that ends up being a cold take like that. And the Wendy's Frosties, they're making all types of new creations. So now, you have your classic Frosties, the chocolate, the vanilla. They're giving you a brand new twist on them. They got their Frosty Swirls, strawberry brownie butter, and caramel. They also have their mixed Frosty Fusions, Oreo brownie, caramel crunch, Pop-Tart strawberry.
Ooh.
Anything that your little heart desires, I'm sure Wendy's has a creation for. I had a hot fudge one yesterday on air of the Wildcat show. It was a great, it tastes so good, man. They're all great. And we can't wait to, continue this partnership, see all the more Frosty takes and really just try all these treats out because they are phenomenal. Whatever flavor you're craving, odds are they got a Frosty for it. So clock in for a sweet treat anytime, including midnight or later with Wendy's all new Frosty flavors. A refresh on a classic, gotta be Wendy's. at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Yeah, got to be Wendy's, got to be Denzel. Burke coming up right after this. Let's talk to you about our friends. I don't know, maybe a little Bird Gang Travel. Again, big thanks to Tyler and everybody at Bird Gang Travel. They're putting packages in place that you can access right now. Join us week 1. We're going to be in New Orleans, baby. Myself, Noah, not Damon, unfortunately, but Bo Brock. Shaft, I think he's looking to hang out, Nola, maybe.
He's always looking to hang out.
Absolutely. Check out our friends at Bird Gang Travel. They've got the best packages you can find. Airlines, hotels, accommodations, tickets, and more. We'll be hanging out with Jake Plummer. We're going to be hanging out with all of you. We want to see you with our friends at Bird Gang Travel. We also encourage you to become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. No better time to become a diehard than with us right now. Get access to the exclusive member Discord. And, of course, our guy, Gerald Bourguet, coming back next week, cranking out those diehard articles that I've grown accustomed to reading every single day. And, of course, check us out with the merchandise locker. Pick up a free hat and or shirt every single year. You are a die-hard
couple
member.
Slackers around here. Bo Brock, Gerald Bourguet.
That's right.
You have a kid. You think you can just take time off and spend time with the fam?
I thought we were your family. We were talking about it before we went on air. I guess not. There's Tyler, our guy, in the chat. Again, contact him right now. We had a chance to catch up with Denzel Burke, 5th rounder for the Arizona Cardinals. Here is the star Ohio State corner, now an Arizona Cardinal. He was a fixture the last 4 years on college football Saturdays. Now he joins the Arizona Cardinals. It's 5th rounder Denzel Burke. Denzel, how we doing, my guy?
I'm doing well, man. Blessed. Glad to be here, man.
Is it surreal that, I mean, we're right down the street from where you went to some of your high school career down at Brophy down on 7th Street here,
Yeah.
Saguaro and Scottsdale. Is it just still kind of like pinch me moment, like you're back in AZ playing for the Cardinals?
Yeah, man. Reality definitely has kicked in over the past couple of weeks. You know, I'm really happy to be home, play for the hometown team, and, you know, everything is just full circle. So it's awesome.
We've got so much to dive in, Cardinal related, Ohio State related. I have to ask you this. I was thinking about it before the interview. Is it weird, like, you played big-time high school football here, starred here, went to Ohio State. So you had your college years at Ohio State. Now you've come back to Arizona, and all of your college teammates, or a lot of them, are in your hometown now. Like, that's got to be pretty surreal. Like, do you ever just be like, hey, I need some space, guys. I literally just saw you for 4 years, Marv or Parrots. Now I'm back in my hometown. But in all seriousness, is that a surreal part for you?
Yeah, it definitely is a surreal part. You know, especially at Ohio State, the brotherhood is real. And be able to just see my brothers, you know, in the building almost every day. It's kind of that little home feeling, even though this is home, like the home feeling I had at Ohio State. So it's just awesome, you know, compete at a high level and win some games.
Are people paying attention in Columbus? Like, I mean, not only is it just players, it's like Justin Fry goes for your national title winning team to the offensive line coach. Or like, if I play my cards right enough, I'm going to be wearing an Arizona Cardinals red and white next year.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. You know, everything is just working out how it needs to work out, and really just happy I'm here.
Do you remember the draft process? Like, did you feel like this was a potential landing spot, like during the course of January, February, March for you?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely were on my mind. Didn't think it was gonna really happen after talking to a lot of different teams. But really just happy I was here. You know, this is the one team that I felt really comfortable with, who I could relate to, and now it's real.
It's crazy. We could take it like a step further. Like, obviously the high school time here, college, Ohio State, a lot of Buckeyes for the Cardinals. And then like week 1, you could play against the guy you played in high school, Spencer Rattler at the quarterback position, who you picked off before when you were in, Saguaro colors?
It was actually Brophy.
Was it Brophy?
My first game as a freshman varsity, picked him off.
It's a good omen, I think, for week 1.
Freshman varsity, you're picking off Spencer Rattler, who was one of the top recruits in the country. That's pretty crazy. I mean, it would just continue how surreal things are if you're out there and you're lining up against and staring down at him under center for the Saints week 1.
We'll see. You know, day by day, man. Continue to stack days, and you know, if I get my opportunity, I'm definitely gonna maximize it.
Yeah.
Speaking of opportunities, you're part of a cornerback group with the Cardinals now that tends to lean younger. Now, Sean Murphy-Bunting, unfortunately, out for the season. So you and Will Johnson enter the fold with a bunch of guys that have been drafted within the last 12 to 24 months, guys that you saw like Max Melton in the Big Ten just a year ago. Like, talk about the Cardinal quarterback room as it stands right now and where you see yourself fitting in.
Yeah, definitely. We're all competing. You know, it's a lot of fun, you know, playing at a very high level. And, you know, for me, it's really just me versus me day in, day out. Continue to be consistent, continue to stack my days how I need to stack them, and just making sure that I'm getting better and, you know, be myself and have fun.
What about your game translates to this defense so well? Because, I mean, we talked to Will during his introductory presser. He said this is a cornerback's dream playing this defense. Do you see this kind of similar things that he is?
Yeah, definitely. Very corner friendly. Can make a lot of plays, and I'm really excited. Especially how they use us corners, and how we can make players on the ball, the help that we have, and the different type of disguises, the tilts we have. So it's really fun.
You played predominantly outside at Ohio State. Do you envision that with the Cardinals here?
Yeah, a lot of mixing it up, inside, outside. So I'm really excited for that.
Talk about that room a little bit more. I mean, Garrett Williams is now going into year 3. He looks he had a fantastic sophomore season for the Cardinals. He looks to kind of be a leader, which is crazy, a veteran in that room. As I said, just 2 years under his belt. It's a youthful group, but it feels like you guys are dialed in. Like when they talk about Garrett, they talk about his notebook. Have you seen that at all, where he's taking notes as far as everything?
Yeah, man, he's a pro's pro.
Yeah.
And, he plays a little bit inside at nickel and outside too. Just being able to see his preparation for practice and how he practices on the football field. So it's pretty cool to see that, and just making sure that he's always taking the right notes, and it translates to the field.
A lot's been made. I'm sure you've heard about this, about Marv's physical transformation. Now, you went up against Marv probably pretty routinely when you guys were at Ohio State. Can you see a difference? Like now you're out in practice now with him?
Yeah, he's definitely bigger. I feel like he's gotten taller too. It's kind of weird. But yeah, he's huge. And really excited for, it was this year 2 for him. I'm really excited for him to see how his game has evolved, and should be a good one.
What makes him such a great receiver?
A lot of things. His releases, top of the route, coming out his breaks, understanding what the defense is in, how he plays his role in the offensive play that he has, his route, and his his physical catch, 50-50 balls.
Anything happened over the last couple of days with Marv, or any epic battles back in Columbus that stand out to you?
Yeah, me and him had a couple reps together, and it's been fun. Kind of just reigniting that little fuel fire that we always used to have, all the battles that we had in practice, and should be fun come fall camp.
I don't know if you know this. So the Cardinals, before Monti Ossenfort was the GM, they went almost 20 years without selecting an Ohio State player, which is blasphemy. But we've since gone the opposite direction. Why do you think the Cardinals have targeted that university? What do you guys bring as rookies, tenured players, that when you bring Ohio State players into the fold, you can tell it just raises the bar?
I'll say first and foremost, we're dogs, competitors. We know how to win. We win a lot of games at Ohio State. We come from a university that is a lot of pressure built, understanding that we got to perform every week. We know how to play within the team structure. And, yeah.
Well, then when you made your way back to the Valley, what was one of the first few things you had to re-experience being back here in Phoenix?
I wouldn't say anything new. I kind of forgot about how hot it is. But I'm getting used to it again.
But what about, like, I got to get back to that spot? This is where I go when I'm in my hometown.
Golf.
Golf? What's your favorite course?
Out here, Quintero. Quintero's a good one. Weekapa, the Raven, TPCs, both of them champions in the stadium. Kierland. I played almost majority of the courses out here, and I'll continue to find some more courses to play, but definitely golf is a big thing.
Have you played with any of your teammates yet?
Yeah, I played with Budda a lot, and I played with Zaven one time. Me and Budda will try to go to Camelback, golf a little bit, and it's fun.
Any food spots that you had to get back to too?
Food spots, really trying to, since I've been in Ohio for 4 years, kind of forgot some of the food spots, but as I'm with these pros now, they're putting me on to some new things, and some good spots out here. Yeah.
You're part of
someone that a high school, I guess bank account couldn't afford back in the day.
Right. Yeah.
You've since upgraded.
Yeah.
You're part of a rookie class that every pick but one was on the defensive side of the ball, and you go and you get to play now under Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rollis, who many assume we've talked to him before. He's an up and coming future head coach in this league. What are your takeaways from JG and Rollis thus far?
JG, defensive mind, DB mind, and great coach, very passionate, loves the game, loves to win, and understands our system and how we work in the system. Rollis, he's a genius, and he knows how to He knows how to play ball. I'm pretty sure he played football back at Minnesota too, and it's been one hell of a ride.
What's it like lining up, Kyler on the other side? I mean, he's going into year 7, so this is somebody that before you left to go to Columbus was here, has entrenched himself here in the Valley, and been doing some great things with his foundation. He did the celebrity softball tournament, all that. Is it surreal to you to kind of line up with him, or is playing in the Big Ten and making your way to national championship game? You're kind of used to that stuff.
Especially like you said, being at Ohio State, seeing the quarterbacks that I've seen, and just being in that university, it's kind of prepped me and built me for this moment now that I'm in, and it's been awesome. But Kyler, he's one hell of a player. There be times in practice he's throwing some great balls, and really decided to see it, firsthand in the game to see him play.
I asked Kitan this. I'm going to ask you the same question. What's a great year look like for you?
Great year for me? I have a lot of personal goals, but I'm going to keep them to myself because, I just want to be able to let my play show that. But just being consistent, having fun, being a competitor, and, yeah.
Took the ball away a lot at Ohio State, something that we could use. Arizona Cardinals looking to take the football away. Why has that been such an integral part of your game, do you think?
We got to play. That's my job description, especially being at corner. Got to have a lot of ball disruption. You got to take out one side of the field and playing with great technique. And I feel like it's the hardest position on the field after quarterback. So just being able to go out there, being truly confident in yourself, and that's what it is. And I kind of built that over my time at Ohio State, ready to translate it into the NFL.
What have you learned about Will that you didn't know about him after matching up with him? Obviously your counterpart for so many years in that rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State. What have you learned about him and his game over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, man, he's a ball hawk. He's very smart, understands the game. He understands not only just his position, but how the defense works. Very smart guy, and really excited to play with him.
Can you tell there's been an influx of talent? Obviously, a bunch of guys from Ohio State, but Walter Nolan, Darius Robinson. Like when you look around defensively, like are you impressed with what you see? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm impressed, but don't want to put nothing on it right now. It's when it's week 1, and the games after that, that's when it really matters. So I just want to be able to see that.
We'll get you out of here on this. Obviously, a Valley native. What was your team growing up? Was it Cardinals, Suns? Like as far as the Valley teams, what was the one that you just would live and die watching?
So it was a little bit of mix of everything.
Yeah.
Growing up, always been a LeBron fan, so I always used to watch him. But the Suns a little bit with Amari Stoudemire, Steve Nash. What's the other guy's name? He has like that weird jump shot.
Marion.
Sean Marion.
Yeah.
Sean Marion. I was a fan. Obviously the Cardinals, and then I was a Seahawks fan too growing up. So just to be able to see them play, us play them twice a year, it was kind of cool. But now that I'm living that, it's going to be pretty surreal.
We need you to help break this curse. The Cardinals haven't beaten the Seahawks in some time, so now is the time. Denzel Burke, the newest member of the Arizona Cardinals quarterback room. Check him out at training camp and this fall for the Arizona Cardinals. Big thanks to our guy, Denzel Burke. We're back right after this with Keaton Crawford, 7th-round rookie. It's PHNX Cardinals. But first, we're kicking things off with a solid foundation. Just like the Cardinals draft class this year, you got to make sure you're on steady flooring with our friends at Empire Today. Why is Empire Today the best bet for new flooring? Well, they live and breathe floors, and that will help you every step of the way. It's a completely different ball game. Their flooring experts bring the showroom right to you. You pick the flooring that's right for you. And again, they're going to hook you up sometimes next day. Get precise measurements, have all the questions you need taken care of. They're going to get you a clear upfront and precise pricing. There are no surprises. They can schedule an installation as soon as you need it. It's a call to action right now, everybody. If you're looking to upgrade flooring, if you're on the fence about your current provider, schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are better at home. PHNX listeners can receive up to $350 in a discount with the bonus code PHNX. Again, bonus code PHNX, EmpireToday.com. That's EmpireToday.com/PHNX for full details. Get $350 off. Do yourself a favor. Contact them now. It's Empire Today.
Save some money on that brand new flooring with our promo code PHNX and Empire Today. Also save some money or just at least stretch your dollar out a little bit more with Mountain America Credit Union and their brand new 2 times points rewards on credit card purchases through the end of July, Johnny. So whether
Love
it's,
it.
you know, groceries, gas, going on a vacation, a home project, you name it, like as big of a purchase as you want, use the Mountain America credit card, open up an account, and you'll get 2 times the rewards points that you would typically get until the end of July. So you still have over a month and a half to get this done and take advantage of these big time savings. It's such an easy way to stretch your dollar. As I said, you get double the points for rewards like travel rebates, gift cards, and event tickets as well. So you can use it, you know, those reward points to make other purchases. And it's a limited time, so you're going to want to get in on it before that end of July. Take as much advantage of you as you can. A month and a half, guys. Sign up for a Mountain America Credit Union account right now. Loans on approved credit. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out our interview now with our guy Kitan Crawford, 7th round pick out of Nevada for the Arizona Cardinals. All right, you want me to open this?
Sure.
All right, let's kick it off. Counting down in 3, 2, 1. As minicamp comes to a close, we are fortunate to be joined by Arizona Cardinals draft pick Kitan Crawford out of Nevada, 7th rounder this year. My guy, how are you coming into the desert?
It's been good. I'm enjoying it, you know. It's been a good time. I mean, I like the guys here. I like the organization here, so it's pretty fun.
Couple intense practices this past week. You know, I see a couple things, couple parallels. Number 36, safety, special teams ace. Sound familiar to you, Johnny?
It's one Budda Baker once upon a time.
That's right.
Sure.
Have people made that connection? Like, hey,
I'm not sure yet, but I definitely have, yeah, for sure.
How's it like just lining up to somebody like number 3 out there on the practice field?
It's pretty fun. I mean, he's a good guy. Like, he's all over the place. I mean, I study Budda Baker's game a lot. But, I mean, he's a good guy.
You're in a fun position group. You've got Budda, you've got Jalen Thompson, Rabbit Taylor Demerson. Like, have you gotten a sense of like maybe who clowns around a little bit in that position group? Who's a fun guy to be around?
Definitely Rabbit, yeah, for sure. I mean, me and Rabbit, we joke all the time. I mean, he's a good guy for sure. But yeah, Rabbit.
Yeah, also a guy that kind of does a little safety work and then is also really big time on special teams. Joey Blunt gets lost in the mix, but a big time player for the Cardinals. Gotten to know him as well, just because you've got that background as well coming out of the collegiate ranks.
Yeah, I talk to Joey a lot, and I know his game. I respect his game a lot too. So yeah, me and Joey chat all the time. I mean, he gives me a lot of points on special teams and just in the room as well.
Jonathan Gannon, something of a DB safety kingmaker. Like, did that come into your mind when you were drafted by the Cardinals? All the great safeties that he's helped produce, either as head coach, defensive coordinator, position coach once upon a time?
For sure. I mean, he's a good guy. I mean, I trust all the guys that, you know, they've invested in me as well. So, I mean, I'm just ready to, you know, provide for this team and see what I can do.
What is it about special teams? Because it's something you've been doing for so long, right? I mean, obviously you want to be out there every snap on the defensive side of the football, but I was watching film of you. There was a punt that you ran down against Bama.
Yeah.
You basically caught it on the fly to just down it right there before the goal line. What is it that kind of inspires you to kind of show out on special teams?
It's just I adopted this mindset. It's only one place, so why not go 100%? I mean, and special teams can change the game. So, I mean, I respect it a lot, and I enjoy it. So, something I enjoy.
You put on one of the most dominant combine performances for a safety this year. Talk to me about your mindset going in Indianapolis. We were there. I remember watching the highlights. So almost a sub 4.40. Your broad jump or your long jump was like the second highest.
Almost 11 feet.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Did you know, like, after that performance, like, oh, things might change a little bit for me?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I had a conversation with, you know, just my agent, and he told me, you know, I created a lot of value for myself. And just coming into the combine, I mean, I was, you know, pretty focused. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just football, you know. But I just put on for myself and my family as well, so.
A lot of great battles out there, I'm sure, over the last 3 days. Anything stand out to you? Who'd you like to go up against, kind of the iron sharpened ironing at the practice field?
Honestly, just everybody. I mean, you know, because we're all there to compete, and, you know, there's a lot of talented guys on the team as well. So, I mean, anybody I line up against, I mean, it's always a blessing, and I learn the experience as well.
Probably fun to see Kyler Murray in person. Growing up in Texas, do you remember watching him, Texas football?
Of course. I mean, he was a superstar in Texas, but yeah, like same thing with college as well. So, I mean, I know Kyler. I mean, I know his game a lot, and big Texas guy. But I mean, I enjoy to watch him at practice as well. It's very fun to watch.
Is there somebody you? Sorry, Bo. Is there somebody you model your game after?
I would say Budda Baker, but I just like I just try to study a lot of guys and just try to find my motto. But I mean, I would just say Budda Baker for sure.
After he ran all that smack, I'm sure you're probably like, you don't want to give him that, right? Where he's just like, you said that's who I want him out of my game after.
Yeah.
You also have a connection to another big time quarterback. You're second cousin of Patrick Mahomes, is that right?
Correct.
So is there any connection? I couldn't even tell you who my second cousin is, so I'm not gonna assume that you guys are tight. Is there a relationship, or is there?
Do you get a Christmas card or
I
anything
mean,
like
not
that?
Christmas card, but I mean, like he's a busy guy, so but I mean, I remember just the family reunions, and he used to come eat, and then he would stay like 30 minutes and get out because he would always be playing baseball, and he was a busy guy. But I mean, he's family at the end of the day. So
Your first impressions, mini camp. You had rookie camp, now mini camp. Like, can you tell a talent difference when you come to this level and seeing where the Cardinals are at? Like, we've been covering this team for some time. This is supposed to be like the culmination of the rebuild, right? 3 drafts under Monti Ossenfort, 3rd year under Jonathan Gannon. Like, when you guys step on the field as rookies, it's like, whoa, like there's some big time players here.
for sure, I mean, I know every time I step on the field, I give my glory to God for sure. But I mean, I'm just blessed to be here for sure, and taking my time day by day, stacking days, just keeping it real.
You kind of joined programs or spots right on the precipice of turning things around. Like when you got to Texas, they weren't like Texas wasn't back, even though they said it every other year. But they did turn it around once you kind of got in there. They make their way back to the college football playoff. And now they're one of the bigger programs in the country. Now the Arizona Cardinals going from an 8-9 season. They do feel like they're right there at about to churn things around, maybe return to the playoffs for the first time since 2021. Do you get that sense as well? Like you've experienced that. Like what does it feel like to you?
Every time I come into the facility, I mean, it's just like it's a feeling, I have that everybody carries themselves. That it's just a certain type of way. I feel like this organization is we're doing something big for sure. So I'm excited for it.
Everybody has goals. We have goals on this show, right? You've got goals. What's a great year for Kitan Crawford look like as a member of the Arizona Cardinals?
Just to be all around, just dog. Honestly, just to put on for myself, my family, and for the organization as well. I mean, I just want to be successful and prove to the people that really don't know me that just prove the doubters.
You've made a couple moves already, going from Tyler, Texas to Austin, Texas to Reno, Nevada, start for the Wolfpack, and now you're coming to Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah.
Going to call it home for the next, half decade, maybe more.
For sure.
What are some of the staples? What are some of the things when you're making a move? Like, hey, I got to get my bearings. I got to find this in my new hometown.
Just football-wise, just a routine. Sticking to that routine, but just life outside of football. Just I guess just staying true to myself and just finding what I like to do and trying the city. So I mean, I've never been to Arizona, which I'm excited, but we'll see.
What do you like to do?
I like to fish a lot, but I mean, I like to do outdoors. I like the game as well. I'm a huge gamer. I have a PC, so maybe I might get into streaming, but who knows?
What game do you play?
Play a lot of God of War, a lot of Battlefront, COD, and I dislike any sports games because I feel like I play sports, so it's no point in me playing sports games. But a lot of first-person shooters.
So expect a little bit of downtime, some gaming time here over the next 6 weeks, but your primary focus ahead of training camp. Like, when do you report for training camps?
I think it's July the 18th.
Yes.
July the 20th.
So you got some time here.
Yeah,
so what is the next month plus like for you?
Just keeping my body in shape, staying healthy, sticking to my nutrition, and just being just staying in shape, just getting ready for the next coming stuff that's coming around, but just keeping my body good and in shape.
Big food guy?
I like tacos a lot.
Yeah, well, you're in the right spot then.
For sure. I already hit a couple taco spots around town, but I love tacos a lot for sure.
It's a good spot. There's a couple good spots downtown that you need to check out. Maybe get the Cardinals media relations staff here. Let you hit a couple of those spots before you get out of here. How about that?
For sure.
Kitan Crawford, 7th round pick of the Arizona Cardinals. To put you out on this, the Cardinals, by the way, I'm not sure if you know this, every draft pick drafted under Monti Ossenfort still on the roster, by the way. So that's a good sign for you. Good sign for the Arizona Cardinals. Influx of talent, including Kitan. Big ups and good luck this year, my guy.
Appreciate it.
Big ups indeed. Thanks to Kitan Crawford and Denzel Burke. We appreciate the time. And
what's going on, fellow kids?
Hello, how are you, fellow kids? Big ups regardless. Fired up here on a football Friday. Everybody dropping a like for the rookies. Thank you to the Cardinals for offering up both players, and fired up for training camp ahead. It's going to be exciting to watch those two players start their careers. But somebody who's not starting their career is well in their twilight of their NFL career, one Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure if you've seen this photo or not, Damon. I know you've seen it. Aaron Rodgers' headshot with the Pittsburgh Steelers hit the Twitter streets this morning. I had to bring it up. This is the oldest photo I've ever seen. This is Spirit Halloween guy in an NFL jersey. What are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, number 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
It's one of the best pictures, I think, in NFL history. Just look at the pain behind those eyes from Aaron Rodgers. Look how old he looks. He really just looks like a dad, like a dad who just put on his jersey that his kid got him for Christmas or something. I told you off air, Johnny, that Aaron Rodgers and Bo, they're around the same age.
That's true.
They got a little bit of a similar vibe look going for them. Like Aaron Rodgers is a good looking dude, so is Bo. I mean, this is what I'm envisioning what Bo Brock looks like in an NFL jersey.
But here's the difference. Bo Brock, quality family man, and deserves to celebrate Father's Day this weekend. Aaron Rodgers is nobody's daddy, and
his family hates him.
And his family hates him, and he despises his family in return. This is one of the saddest photos I've ever seen. And I don't love Aaron Rodgers. This is a guy who's going to be a top 10 quarterback of all time, and this is what it's come down to. I saw this come across my Twitter timeline this morning. It is. I don't want to go on the heels of like pathetic, but it's in that category. This is not a good look. He should have retired. We're about done here. Mr. Fat Gangster says it perfectly. Fixing to grab a beer and watch the game. Yeah, that looks like every guy hanging out Buffalo Wild Wings here in Zips downtown Phoenix. Like nothing wrong with that. I tweeted out, I'm gonna be wearing jerseys well into my twilight years. I'm a Jersey guy, right? You're a Jersey guy. Bo's not. But like Aaron Rodgers is a professional NFL quarterback, and I just feel like that photo is gonna resurface throughout this year, and it's gonna become a meme.
Is that this year's Bryce Young reporting for training camp with a big giant backpack that's twice his size?
It's very close, absolutely.
It's not quite as funny, but it definitely made me laugh about it as hard, especially your tweet today, Johnny. Everybody go check that one out. But I just looked up Aaron Rodgers right here, and who do I see? Your boy Jack Sawyer. Yeah. How's he looking in that?
Little stiff. Legs could be a little bit bigger.
Top heavy.
Little top heavy, but we wish Jack well. He should have been here with Denzel Burke. That would have been special.
Oh, yeah.
Nonetheless, big thanks to everybody. Drop a like on this show. Super chats. Noah, man, let's get these pulled up if we could. Felix, our guy on a football Friday, $4.99 kicking us off. Just moved to the Valley from Tucson. Hell yeah, my guy. Excited to go to the events. Bear down. Well, Felix, my guy, become a diehard. We'll see you at events this fall. Just got confirmation from our GMS, but we're going to be back hopefully at Gila River for our watch parties this fall. Want to see you there, my friend, and of course with our friends at Bird Gang Travel on all of our road trips. But welcome to the Valley, my guy. Indigenous.
Bear down as well.
Bear down. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Got the host of the PHNX Wildcat show. I don't want to say Tucson native, but native of Tucson, where you do go back to Tucson every now and then.
Why is that not a Tucson native?
Were you born in Tucson?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a Tucson native. I'm sorry.
Course.
That was disrespectful.
That was disrespectful.
Indigenous Daddy, $5. If we go to the playoffs, then Johnny's got to bring back the 2018 draft party fit. So the Undertaker t-shirt and the top hat, no problem with that. I'll wear damn near whatever you want me to if the Cardinals make the playoffs this year. Bo was trying to get me to do a 24-hour stream like the Psycho ASU podcast. I won't do that, but I'll wear damn near any. I've worn a lot on this show. I've worn leggings, I've worn leg pads, I've worn Power Ranger costumes in the early iterations of the show. You put me in whatever you want if it means Cardinals are doing well.
Mm-hmm. Especially if it brings numbies, right, Johnny? Because that's all you care about.
I'm a sicko in a lot more ways than one. Alberto, $4.99. Happy Father's Day to JV, Bo, and everyone in the chat who participates. Well, big thanks to you, Alberto. Hopefully it's a great Father's Day if you choose to celebrate. If you are able to celebrate, we appreciate all the fathers out there, my father, your father, everybody. And, of course, to the new dads out there, Bo Brock, newest dad to his second son. So absolutely thank you for that, Alberto.
Luke Skywalker Brock.
That's right. That's his name. It's on his birth certificate. I've seen it. Bees, $2. More tip-tap toe touchdown clips for JV, please. Wow, tip, tap, toe, touchdown clips for JV. There was an embedded clip, not an embedded clip, there was a clip from the Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett to Tip Ryman for a touchdown. Inject that preseason energy. Inject it, Damon.
Yeah. I mean, we love the clips that the Cardinals are putting out, and it's an interesting time where like only the Cardinals team account is like really privy to any of this stuff. They get to choose what we see and what we don't see, but I know it hypes us up all nonetheless. Seeing like Darius Robinson look like the Incredible Hulk out there, and just all types of Cardinal stars.
We appreciate all the stars on full display this week. It's been a banner week. Bo Brock got a little taste. He was back today for the interviews because he's a sicko. He can't stay away. He can't. But he will be back full time on Monday from paternity leave. Big thanks to everybody who's made mandatory minicamp such a special week of coverage, including our star of the show, Mr. Noah, out there at practice every single day. Noah, man, we appreciate you, my guy.
Thank you very much.
Love it. Love it so much. So glad I got to do a couple shows with this psycho
Borat
next to
style.
me. Check out Damon and Derek later on the D-backs post-game show. Subscribe to PHNX Sports, PHNX Cardinals, wherever you get your podcasts. And again, big thanks to Kitan, Crawford, and Denzel Burke for the time today. Those interviews are going to be isolated here on the YouTube page. For Damon, Noah, Bo Brock, and I, it's PHNX Cardinals. We're back on a Monday. Peace!
We all silly like the mayor.